And just days after President Trump signed a clemency order seemingly bringing the January 6th chapter to a close, House Republicans announced a short time ago that they will launch a new effort to investigate the riot and the January 6th committee.
Our digital investigative reporter Jordan Fisher has been covering these cases for 4 years now. You're back to talk to us about what Republicans hope to get from this. That was an exhaustive process. Yeah. And you were sitting here on Monday. We were talking about what was happening with January 6 cases, and we're back here again talking about potentially investigating again?
Right, all right. I mean, it seems odd, right? Because on the one hand, you have the Department of Justice, which is working at a breakneck speed to dismiss something like 300 to 400 remaining January 6th cases at the order of the president. You have 1,200 people who have been pardoned, hundreds of those people getting out of jail all across the country, including former Oath Keepers leader Stuart Rhodes, who was reportedly at the Capitol today meeting with members of Congress. And then on the other hand, you have the House GOP spinning it back up, seeming to want to relitigate things that we've heard about, that we've seen, that we've watched for years and years and years. So mixed messages.
Yeah, and you would think at this point they would say, okay, we're done with this. Let's put it behind us. It makes us look bad. We're not going to talk about this. So what do they hope to achieve? What's the end game here?
Right. When President Trump signed that order on Monday, which went a lot further than many people expected, it seemed like he wanted to put a period on this chapter to end it, to say, we're going to move forward, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off, I'm going to pardon almost all these people, I'm going to dismiss all the other cases, a small group of people I'm going to commute, but we're going to move forward. And so maybe the corollary question is not what do they hope to get out of it, but why now? Because the Republicans have had control of the chamber for 2 years. President Donald Trump won the election in November. Why not any previous time? Something to consider is, do you really want to do this sort of reinvestigation if at the same time the Justice Department is filing new cases? Maybe earlier that day they're charging somebody with assaulting police with a baseball bat, or throwing explosive into the tunnel, shooting a gun in the air. So they have a much different media environment that they're coming into. Of course, now Donald Trump and his Republican appointee are going to run the Justice Department. They'll have better access to that. One thing to consider is if they do hope to rewrite history, to rewrite the work of the January 6th committee, they're inevitably going to get pushback from that. And we've seen that today already. There's a federal judges in the D.C. court have been filing these motions to dismiss these cases. One, Tanya Chutkan, filed an order today, but she didn't simply dismiss the case. She included her perspective, and what she said is the dismissal of this case, cannot wash away what happened, cannot wash away the tragic circumstances. You see that on your screen right now. It cannot wash away the blood, the feces, the terror that the mob left in its wake, and it cannot repair the jagged breach in America's sacred tradition of peacefully transitioning power. Now, if they do hope to move the ball forward, to move the chains forward, there are opportunities for this committee to make public some things that we didn't previously see. The January 6th committee ultimately focused so much on President Trump and his actions that day, his reluctance to act, even as his supporters were breaking into the Capitol, some of the tweets, his response to learning that Vice President Mike Pence had declined to uphold these challenges, that a lot of the intelligence failures didn't get these sort of public airing out that they could have. And so there is an opportunity for this committee to bring that forward, to really air out what happened, how we learned, for example, through testimony that an FBI report about possible violence didn't make it to the chief of Capitol Police's desk. So there is an opportunity for new information.
Yeah, and we know that Republicans had an opportunity to participate in that original committee, and they chose not to.
Well, only 2 of them did. It was a bipartisan committee, to be clear. And some of the things that Republicans said at the time have not aged very well. Things they said right after this happened in 2020-21 to now. So we'll see what happens. All right, Jordan, thank you.